This is your very own Jessie of Sisters True Love Group International live today, trying to practice CPR with my lovely sister here. Mrs. Leslie, introduce yourself to people.
Hi guys, I'm Leslie Stewart Jackson. I'm so blessed to be here with Miss Daisy. She is a wealth of information, and I'm learning life-saving CPR. I've taken it years ago, but I'm going to see how I can implement what she just taught me. So
Amen.
Here goes.
Yes. Now she's going to assess our patient on the floor. I want us to watch. It's going to be very brief because we have already done the introduction of CPR. Like I always tell you guys, each and every one of us need to have the knowledge about CPR. We need to teach our children from the age of 7 years and up how to perform this word CPR to save lives. It's not all about the healthcare providers. I'm telling you, it's not all about you. It's all about the community, your friends and well-wishers, people in church, daycares, fitness areas, anywhere you can see humans in the grocery store, we want you to have the awareness of CPR. Yes. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, very vital. When the heart is not functioning, the whole of the body will not function. And that's what I tell people, if the heart is dead, the human being is completely dead. There's nothing you can do about it. That brings us to the word 5 rights of CPR. That is 5 rights of saving lives. That 5 rights, you cannot walk away with it. When it comes to CPR, I tell people, don't waste your time going to the videos to watch or going online. I do online teaching for my regular student who has been in my life classes. So they can just go back and see what is new and the changes that we're making with American Heart Association. So that brings me right now to the assessment of CPR. We want to be able to assess, like I said on the board, we have to be able to assess, and then you plan what you have to do, you implement it, you evaluate, and you document. In the process of assessment, we want you to check if this patient that is on the floor is unresponsive. When a patient is unresponsive, that is the only time you can confirm that this patient really needs your CPR. I tell people, if patient is not unresponsive, they are shaking or they are moving around, don't touch them to do CPR. You end up killing someone. And when you do that, you confirm that this patient is unresponsive, like we just thought, Jackie. Then you go into your planning. What do I do? This patient is not responding to me. Mr. John is not talking. Now, what comes into my mind? I want to start my assessment by checking the carotid pulse in adults. You want to make sure the pulse is not responsive neither. You want to scan the patient for breathing. If any of these things is all absent, that's a complete confirmation that this patient had a cardiac arrest. And we have only 2 minutes. 2 minutes to save this life. You can't just be leaving the patient unattended to and jump outside to call for help. Your mouthpiece should be your 911. That's what I tell people. You understand? Don't start waiting. Oh, where's my phone? You use your mouth and begin to yell. 911, somebody call 911, somebody help, like she just said. That's what we want to do. But in the case there's nobody around, let's say it's at home, push 911 on your phone and put it on speaker. As fast as you can. That's what we want to witness. That's what we want to see. And then you will initiate CPR. So let's watch her do a basic assessment on the patient. Come on.
Oh my God, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. Are you okay? Mr. Jones?
There we go. She's assessing the carotid pulse.
No pulse.
Yep. I want you to scan for the breathing.
He is not breathing.
Scan for breathing. Okay.
No, not breathing.
Okay. She scanned. She didn't see breathing. This is the location of the sternum. That's where we want you to compress, right? I want you to compress going 30 to 60 at least. She's compressing the patient. She's done her assessment. She didn't see any pulse.
Help! Somebody
she's still
help
calling
me.
for help. That is the 911 she's using, not her cell phone now. She's calling for help out there. And guess what? She's still compressing. She's not giving up on this patient. She's waiting for help. That is the police now or firefighters. She's still doing what she's supposed to do because we don't want to allow the patient to be unattended to. As she is doing that, let's say in the process she's still doing
help!
it. She's
Somebody
still calling help.
help!
And here I come as the 911 right now. This is what I call AED. Boss, this is it. And then I come in with this. When I come in with this as 911 right now, she's still doing what she's doing. She's not going to give up. All I have to do, get this, that's what firefighters will do. They will get the AED and put on the chest of the patient while she's doing what she's doing. As you can watch, she's still busy doing what she's supposed to do, you know. And then I'm applying this. I start applying this, I'm going to turn in the AED. If I turn in the AED right now, look, it's going to be on in a second. Do we have battery on this? Let's see if we have battery. Okay, the AED is on. She's still compressing. We want to listen.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
You see? Go ahead and do what you're doing.
Do not touch the patient.
Don't touch the patient. That's what we want to see. Listen to that.
Shock advised.
It's giving shock to the patient's heart.
Charging.
It's charging right now.
Wow.
Stay clear of
Stay
the
clear
patient.
of the patient.
Deliver shock now.
It's going to
Press
deliver
the
shock.
orange button.
Press the
now.
orange button.
Shock delivered.
Delivered. Shock is given.
Wow.
Begin CPR.
Begin CPR. Yes, yes. You can stop right there. That's the practice I want to see. You see that? She is giving her patient resuscitation compression non-stop until EAD gets here. When that machine is arrived, when I'm there right now, she's still doing what she's doing. She did not give up on the patient. In as much as she was tired, she's weak, she's the only one compressing, she's still using her mouth yelling for help. She's still doing what she's supposed to do. That is what I call effectiveness. She's still concerned about her patient. The whole power in you should be on this patient. And when I apply that, turned it on, and they commanded that we should stay clear from the patient. Now she can get a breath. Guess what? Firefighters and police will take over. They will bundle this patient to their car, and her job is done. That is the implementation and evaluation. She will now give me reports what she did and what happened. Now I'm going to ask her, what happened? How did you see the patient?
Okay, so I was just walking down the street and then I saw Mr. Jones laying here on the floor. So I ran over and I patted him on his left side and I asked him, are you okay? Are you okay? And I patted him 2 times hard. No response. And then I assessed his face to see if he was breathing at all. He was not breathing at all. So then I went right. I checked in his arteries here, right up. Okay.
Yes.
So then I knew I had to start the compressions.
Awesome.
And call for help.
And call for help. That is what we want to see. And you can see she's pounding. She actually practiced. This is real life stories. These are the things that happen every blessed day. This is for real. She had the feeling right now because she actually did something. She compressed and she's breathing in and out like, oh my God. That is what happens in real life. This could be your dad. It could be your mom. It could be someone on the street while you're taking a walk, you know, with your family members. Boom, you see someone else on the floor. Are you going to be calling 911 and running after people on the street? Can somebody help? No. If you don't have a clue, we don't want you either to do nothing. And that is the danger. When you get in that kind of situation, and someone who will identify that you're in trouble have no clue how to help you, that's where there is trouble.
Yes, yes.
The issue is not about him being found on the floor, but the issue is who find you. Are they willing to help you?
Because the time is so crucial.
It is very crucial. And if you were not aware of CPR, guess what? You will run back looking for help, and the time is kicking. Here we endangered life. And healthcare providers, individuals need to wake up for the call of CPR. Cardiac arrest is nowhere a joke. It's a serious issue. And when it happens, we want to act right away. Many lives will be saved if a lot of people can be exposed to reality of CPR. How do you feel?
Wow, I feel great that I was able to get in here and to help Mr. Jones. And I even feel better because I knew what to do. I wouldn't have known exactly what to do before. I would have been that person calling for help. You know, so yeah, it's a great feeling to be able to know that if this ever happens, God forbid, I can do what I can to help that person at that crucial time. So yeah, I feel good.
Glad.
I'm tired. But I feel good.
Yes. Same thing happens when it comes to a child, right? This is our baby right now. When it comes to this baby, you know, babies also have heart attack, right? Cardiac arrest sometimes. It's not only for adults. That's why we said we must all know how to do this. If it's at home, the same way you assess the adult. The only difference is that the adult was on the carotid, right? And for this baby, we want to go to the break.
Rest.
Okay? The ribs right here, that's where you want to go. Or you go
in
into
the groin.
the groin. That's where you want to assess for the child. The same thing, you assess. Assessment is assessment. You have to process the information. I can't come to you and say, oh, Fidela said that you did this, and you jump on Fidela. You'll be surprised. There was something I told Fidela that made her to start gossiping about you. So you want to process, Fidela, I heard that you said this about me. What happened? You'll be surprised what will come out of Fidela. That's the same thing with saving lives. Assessment is very important. But once you assess this child, the difference is that you're compressing with your whole arms, right? But for a child, you need you to use your 2 fingers. So these 2 fingers right now at the sternum, you're going to push by yourself. I want you to push 30 times. Okay? And then give 2 breaths. But if, say, both of us are doing it, you go 15.
And then you go 15. 2 breaths?
Yes.
And then
15. We exchange.
Okay.
You do 15, you give 2 breaths, you come over here, I'm doing 15, I give 2 breaths, the same thing until we get the AED machine. The AED machine is more like, I call the AED machine my 911 or firefighters, because when they get there, they have that product. And then my case is closed. So can you practice on our baby? You can carry baby on your lap?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to assess the baby.
The same way.
Okay.
Almost.
And I'm looking at the baby's face. The baby looks like the baby is not breathing. So let me check for a pulse.
Yep.
Okay, I can't really get a pulse here, so let me double check.
Yes.
Here, no pulse
I
either.
want you to scan for breathing.
Okay, so let me see.
No breathing.
No breathing at all. Okay, so here we go.
Yep.
And then
Right here. Give 30. 1, 2, 3, 4. You must be fast. 5, 6, yeah, that's it. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. You give 2 breaths. The way say that, that's exactly what we want to happen when it comes to a child. You keep giving the same process for the adult. The only issue is that when she's doing that, she's using her 2 fingers right now. Why are we using 2 fingers? Because of the sternum. It's fragile for this child. If we compress in full force, you can break the child from the heart all the way to the back. And that is something that we don't want. We want you to use the 2 fingers and compress a child. It's okay. You're doing it as if it's real. I see.
Yes.
That is the passion. You want to keep doing what you're doing, and you want to maintain that pace. You don't want to stop and say, oh, Jesus, I'm tired. No, you cannot be tired until you get help. No matter how weak you are, you must keep compressing. And there's a law that healthcare providers are mistakenly misreading. The law of Good Samaritan. That law of Good Samaritan cannot cover an individual who practices a procedure without effectively practicing the procedure. What do I mean? You know that this is CPR, but unfortunately, you have no clue how to assess a patient for CPR. But you saw someone on the floor. Yes, you have the passion to help, and you started compressing. The Good Samaritan law will not cover you. You will go to jail for practicing for what you don't know, because you have not done it before. You didn't have the clue, but you want to help. Yes, you're doing it in good faith, but you're practicing the wrong procedure in good faith. And that brings me to seizure. When I teach my CPR, I show you what is CPR. I also teach you some circumstances that will trick you into doing CPR when you're not supposed to do CPR. And that's where the Good Samaritan law comes in. When you do stuff that is not the right thing, the law will not cover you. It's better that you didn't do it because you didn't know. And the nursing, they tell you, when we do delegation, that's what we call it. I want to delegate you to go and check an IV pump for me. You are my nursing assistant. You are not trained. Your job and the scope of practice is not into that level of understanding. But you, because you've been watching me do IV, and all that, you felt, okay, I can do it. I've been watching Miss Jessie for a long time. Then you take up the assignment. I will get in trouble by delegating a job that is not on your scope of practice. And guess what? You will go to jail for accepting the job that is not on your scope of practice.
Wow.
Because you have the right to say, I have not done this before. I am not confident in doing it.
Wow.
And I'm not trained in doing this. But when you do it anyways because it's your friend will not be there when they will handcuff you to jail. So that's the judgment we use in nursing. Do what you are very confident in doing. And this is the CPR. We want you to be confident in doing CPR. I was talking about seizure. What do you understand about seizure? People call it epilepsy.
Not as much as I would like to understand about seizures, to be honest. I know that there are some things going on in the brain and the nervous system that is causing this person to
transmission.
Act out, can be very violent sometimes, seizures, and they can really hurt themselves. But I don't know exactly enough about seizures, that I feel comfortable explaining it, but I'm excited to learn exactly what it is.
You already got there. You're very close to what is seizure. Seizure, main thing is that it's sensory in the brain that is involuntary. Nerves working, when they feel like working, they release themselves and begin to act into somebody's system. And they don't know when it happens. But we'll have signs and symptoms that will predict that she's about to have seizure. When you see someone that is about to have seizure and they start looking dull, some of them will look up and get lost. That is a sign. Some will roll their eyes and you can tell. Because when you're closer to someone who has seizure,
you recognize the sign.
You recognize the sign. And when you see that sign, first thing that comes in mind is safety. Okay? You're sitting down now, I look at you, I'm like, Miss Leslie, it's like she's going to have seizure. I want to be safe immediately to put you on the floor.
Okay.
And move that chair away from you.
Okay.
Why? Because when you start, I want the environment to be free of cluster.
Yeah.
Injury is a major thing to seizure patients. And when they do that, don't touch them. Most people say you should put an object in their mouth. I've never practiced that as a nurse. It's been maybe in the 1820s that they did stuff like that. Oh yes, because in real life, when you think about seizure, knowing that it's an involuntary movement in the system, once you constrict it, that's what we call that. Like stopping something from happening, is going to act with force. And most times the arteries in the body will begin to break. Bleeding, internal bleeding can happen to a seizure patient. And why they die because of internal bleeding? Because you don't see the bleeding coming out. It's actually in the system.
Wow, yeah. It's internal seizure.
Do you understand? So that's why we don't want you to touch them, we don't want you to constrict them, we don't want them to be free. Let the arteries and everything work freely. Temporarily, the doctors want you to time the seizure. How long is it taking? Why do we time them? Do you have a clue why you want to time somebody having seizure? Any clue?
Because if they are, the brain is unresponsive for so long, then that can cause permanent damage, and they need to know exactly how long certain seizures last.
That's the main thing. How long do these seizures last? And that's why we document each time you see a seizure patient, you document the length of time, how the body was moving, the eyes, the legs, the extension and the flexion of the body. Everything has to be documented. Why we're doing that? Because there is a medication the patient is taking already. If it's working the way we're supposed to see it effectively, that seizure will not be repeating itself. The doctors want to see the timing. Is it taking longer now since they started taking this med? Or is shorter duration, so they can adjust the medication of the patient.
Okay.
That's the reason why we time them. We want to adjust that medication, either to reduce it or to increase it, based on the activities that are happening.
Right. Okay.
You understand? And that's the main thing about seizure. You just want to make sure they're safe, everywhere is free of cluster, there's no tight clothes and all that. When they finish seizing, you want to turn them to the side. That's all you can do for them. You've timed them and when they stop, you turn them to the side so that if there's any fluid, it will gush out because of aspiration. Right? That's all you do. Make sure you cover them for privacy, and then when they come back to their normal self, you tell them, I'm sorry, it's okay. That's all right. Please, can I take you to your room? or let's go to exclusive place so that you can change your clothes. You know, give them the support and courage and moral support to tell them that it's not your fault. You know, stuff like that do happen, but I'm sorry, did you take your medicine today? Encourage them, talk to them, and love them. That's all we can do for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Okay. That brings me to the issue now of choking. I'm giving you a lot of information. CPR, my CPR comes with 4 or 5 package of information. You're going to learn that seizure. Now we want to talk about choking and aspiration. What is the difference between the two? When you think about someone is choking and you think about someone is aspirating,
So
what comes to your mind?
with the choking, there is something that is blocking the airway.
What does that tell you? If the airway is blocking, what is the cause?
You can't breathe. You're not getting oxygen.
Okay, what is going in your mind as an individual who's watching a choking patient?
Panic.
We don't want you to panic in health. That's why I want to do the topic on Facebook today. Remember what I was telling you, what I'm going to teach today about
You're in
healthcare
distress.
providers.
Yeah. You want to help them. You don't know what to. You want to try to help them through. What do I do to help this person?
Okay. What I want to hear is, what is the level of action you have to take?
Okay, the assessment. Okay.
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 Remember? Because we can't jump out of those things. You want to confirm. They could be holding their hands, but they're still coughing. If a choking individual is coughing, is that choking?
No.
Okay. That's no longer emergency. Where I want to take you is that when someone is choking, like you rightfully explained, you said the airways are blocked. There's no oxygen coming out. Deoxygenated blood has to come out, oxygen. And then oxygen itself has to go down. But in this case, everything is blocked. No one is coming in, no one is going out. That's emergency. That's what I wanted to hear. Life-threatening. And the brother of life-threatening for choking is CPR.
Okay.
That's the two situations that you see, that you jump and act right away. Because when there's no air coming in, no oxygen, this person can die just like this.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So if that happens, what will be your action? You have assessed, you know, they're choking for real, they're not talking, and their eyes is rolling, is watering. What are you going to do to get that object out?
If it's a baby, you're going to
use me.
okay.
Me.
If it's
let's say it's an adult.
okay, and you're choking, and you're going to go here, and then you're going to do the pelvic.
Hinky maneuver is what you want to do, right? Why are you pressing my chest area?
Because that is going to help to lodge whatever in your throat.
At the chest area? Where's your belly button?
Right here.
That's
is that
the
where I
location you
should
want
be?
to hit. Yes.
Really?
Why
Okay.
do you want to hit the belly button? Your placenta, right? Is connected from your belly button. The food that you ate goes through there. Why we want to hit the belly button is because we want to induce vomit.
Okay.
If you do this on my chest, you can do it from now to next year. You just be doing it, I will still be dying. You know? You're doing it, I'm still going to hell. You keep doing it, I'm getting closer to the hell. But when you do this, you force the food out. And then if I throw up, the airway is open.
Okay. So the abdomen.
Let me show you.
Okay.
Where's your belly button?
Here.
Here?
Mm-hmm.
You see my hand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to close my hand
Oh, okay.
and use this on top of it. And then I'm going to go in. Okay? You understand?
It's
You have
forceful.
to, yes, you have to hit it hard so that they will vomit.
Okay.
But once an individual choking vomit, that's the end of the story. All you need to do, make sure they throw up more.
So I would have gone to jail.
We don't want you to go to jail after this class. So that's why we do that. Okay?
Okay.
You have saved life. Do it like 2, 3, 4. Even if they're still vomiting, keep doing it so that they can say, oh my God, I nearly died. You know? Okay, have a seat. You'll be okay. You know that kind of stuff? You have saved somebody's life.
Yeah.
And then aspiration. When someone is aspirating, what are you looking at? Aspiration.
That's breathing, right?
Like someone is aspirating. You drink water, right? And That's aspiration.
Mm.
The food or the water or the particle that you have in your mouth has
With
gone
the
through.
wrong way. Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it's blocking it,
Mm-hmm.
but they went through the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when G2 patients, we feed the G2 patients, right? We want you to elevate their head. Why are we elevating the head? Because we want the passage of the food to go on gravity.
Mm-hmm.
If they're flat on G2, guess what? There's no way it's not going to go through the lungs.
Mm.
Because the lungs is like a pipe.
Mm-hmm.
The food, instead of going to the esophagus and going down, is going to be following the lungs. Easily. That's the reason why we elevate the patient's head all the time. I hope you're holding that in very well. That's the reason why we want you to elevate the patient that is on G2. Because aspiration is their major issue. When they aspirate, their lungs will start taking in the food. And if the lungs is overflowed, it will shut down. Collapse. Pneumothorax will take place. So in the same way that is aspiration, the food or the water, whatever they're eating, went through the wrong way. You don't want to tell them, drink more water. No.
No.
You understand? Most people will do
some
that.
people do. Yeah. Do you
Basically
need some
at
more?
home, that's what, even in the restaurant, you will tell your children, take some more sip of the water. That's not the right way to do it. You are really putting more to the same area. Because there's already an open way where the food is going, and every other food will just follow that path.
What about patting on the back? You see people like really...
Yes, that's what we used to do. Patting on the back and telling them to drink more fluid. We don't want to do that. What you want to do is to lock up that open that is going there. Tell them, stop talking. Hold your breath. They'll be like, it's okay now, open your mouth. You have to command them. Do it, stop. Don't say nothing, close your mouth, because you're locking the air. The openness of that esophagus, you want to lock it up. And when you lock it up, guess what? It will come back to normal.
Wow.
And the direction will go open before they can sip water or eat any other thing. You don't want to add issue upon issue. You want to correct what is going on before you go advance to it.
Wow.
Any question for me?
Ooh, that is like, that is awesome, because I mean, I always thought too doing it the old way, but the way you explained it really makes sense.
It does make sense, because when we explain stuff like that, especially when you start teaching this class over and over again and then read anatomy of physiology, you know, the molding and the functions of the body, you see how the body reacts. Then you see medicine and you see nursing and you see health, you see stuff differently from the way we practice things at home. Normally back home, like in Africa where I'm coming from, they'll tell you, drink more water, stupid. You're just coughing everywhere. Drink more water. You know what I mean? You keep on drinking the water, but guess what? We're always lucky, God. Now that we're in health, we want to yell it out to the world.
Yes.
Learn the right
to
way.
be educated to do the
Be
right
educated.
thing.
Awareness. We want to make awareness. And that's what we just did. It's good having you in my class.
It's so wonderful.
Thank you.
I want to know what you know.
Thank you so much. Any questions?
Thank you. No, I don't have any questions right now. You covered everything that I was going to ask you, and more, even more.
Yeah.
I learned about the seizures. I learned more about the choking.
Aspiration.
Yes, aspiration. Some updated information with the CPR when I was, you know, doing it the old way. And this is very important. What you told me, the 5 rights of assessment, planning, implementation.
Yes.
All of that is very helpful. That's going to help me. So I'm going to be a nurse.
I'm happy for you. Alright, let's move fast. You just enjoyed a free class for CPR, seizure, aspiration, and choking. And thank God for this opportunity to meet a wonderful sister like this.
Aww.
And guess what? She's joining Sisters True Love Group International.
Yes.
That is how we do our stuff. A woman who wants to empower someone else. And that's what we want to do, encourage one another and be there for one another.
Yes.
What message do you have for my friends out there?
Message I have for friends out there is, for one thing, I hope that you are trusting in God for your life and for your future and for everything. And I will say, I said to my girlfriend on my and to being, we have to claim whatever it is we want God to do for us, and it may not come when we want it, but He's always on time. I am a walking, talking, living testimony.
Amen.
I've wanted to be a nurse since I was in my 20s.
Wow.
And now God has afforded me this opportunity. He is exceedingly and abundantly given what I have asked for, and he has just done it so gracefully and just with so many other blessings. And he allowed me to meet Mrs. JC, who's just now I know is going to be a wonderful mentor.
Yes, 100% plus.
So I can just say to anyone out there that if you have any dreams and aspirations, it's never too late. I don't care. I'm 46 years young.
I'm 40-something too.
And you know, just never stop reaching for your goals.
Yep.
Never stop trusting in God. Don't let anybody tell you what you can't do. And be very cautious of your circle.
Yep.
Your energies.
The key.
If someone cannot help you and uplift you and inspire you and motivate you to be the best that God wants you to be, then you might need to cut them.
That's right. And keep moving.
Yes.
And most times, do you know that most times, right, the people you started with, you don't end up with them.
That's it.
And I tell people, don't get offended. When you start off with some people and some of them start dropping out as you're going, they're not meant to follow you to the next level in life. So keep on going. Don't be a hater. And don't be looking back. So carry along all the baggages. Drop it.
That's
and
it.
Keep on moving.
And keep on moving.
God will always make a way where there seems to be no way.
Yes.
I hope you guys enjoyed this class today.
Yes.
And I'll be seeing you all very soon to talk about healthcare providers. What we'll go through on a daily basis. God bless you all, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed afternoon. Bye, everyone.